Welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm back, and welcome in if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is an intuitive energy reading for you. Um, there's a level of uncertainty here. Um, Something that you're not seeing, something that you're not fully taking in. I kind of feel it being right on the edge of something. It's like you're almost there, but not quite. You sort of intuitively know that something is going on in your energy, that something is up. Um, but it's like you can't quite, you see how she's, she can't, she's seeing it, but she's not seeing if that makes any sense. Um, Something about teaching being withheld, or I feel more connected to the word withheld here. So either there's something that you are needing to learn that you are not wanting to see, or somehow resisting, um, or someone else is withholding something from you that could potentially teach you something about yourself, or something about the connection, something about the relationship. Um, there's a part of you that's somewhat aware of what's going on. I see this very much as being parts of you, your inner, your shadows, your unconscious patterns, that type of thing. And I don't know if you all can see it, but in the background of that, it's kind of like there's this shadow thing lurking. And that's exactly what you know, what I'm getting at here. It's kind of like, here's the parts of yourself that you see, the parts of yourself that you know are there, um, and then it's like, but there's something else in your shadows that you're not quite seeing at this point. So something's up. This is, of course, also when I'm filming this, it's eclipse season. Uh, there's full moon eclipse coming up in Pisces. Saturn going retrograde back into Pisces, which is, of course, a very, very karmic place to be. So lots of stuff going on. Tell me, Spirit, about the core of this situation. Temperance. Seven of Pentacles. Page of Cups. I hope you're all doing good. And of course, as always, if this resonates with you, I would really appreciate it if you would press like and subscribe, or leave me a message. It helps other people see the reading, which, is a good thing. Ace of Swords, yeah, that's the truth. But anyway, of course, if it doesn't resonate with you, then you should never be obligated to do anything, which I'm sure most of you are not anyway, but Um, Temperance, this energy of balance, of quiet contemplation, this spiritual path thing. My feeling here is that you're working on something on your spiritual path. This is an inner process for most of you, which makes a lot of sense with the Saturn going back into Pisces. This, the very much psychic space, the space where you connect to the universe, to, God, whatever you call source. So there's this process that's I feel very personal, very private, very, going on in the shadows. Um, and here's the Page of Cups, this energy of, your higher self or your guides wanting to give you a message, that you're just not, you're just not really seeing it. My feeling is that this has to do with, here's the Empress energy, this has to do with what you are trying to create in the world, where you're wanting to go, Three of Wands, anchored in this deep inner wisdom, this life wisdom, the wisdom that you have with you from previous lives, that you have, that you're trying to integrate into who you are today, at a deep level. So there's something here that is meant to be yours, that you are meant to teach, perhaps, that you are meant to, a path that you are meant to walk, and it's somewhat elusive for whatever reason. Here's the Seven of Wands, which, no, not, yeah, Seven of Wands, which, talks about having to defend your boundaries, defend your position, just sort of feeling 555 on the clock when I was saying that. Which, of course, 5 is the number of change, so that can also be you trying to defend yourself against change, not really wanting to see, what is going on and accepting the reality of it, accepting the calling maybe for some of you. But it can also be, you feeling like you need to defend whatever actions you are taking or wanting to take towards this path from other people's opinions and whatever, they, I'm sorry about the glare. So there's several opportunities here, or not opportunity, well, probably several opportunities as well. Possibilities is what I wanted to say for what the story is in your energy. What's the challenge here, Spirit, other than what we already... Here's the Eight of Cups. This feeling of wanting to leave something behind. Perhaps it's a conflict, an inner conflict that you're wanting to leave behind. See how she's, I don't know, can you see how she's spilling out the cup? It's sort of like when you see her walk away, it's sort of like this, well, F this, I'm just gonna turn my back and leave. Which, of course, sometimes is appropriate. And other times it can sort of be an escape where you're not really, where you're leaving because you're not willing to see what it is you need to learn. So turning around and leaving is somehow easier. I don't know if you can hear the scratching thing. That's my cat trying to open a closed door, which maybe that's some sort of message, that you have been for a while sort of like banging on a door that's actually closed, and you kind of know that it is, that's not the path you're supposed to go, that's not the door you're supposed to open. But it's like part of you is continue to do that, even though it doesn't really make any sense. So, Eight of Swords here, this feeling of being stuck. Most of the time it's stuck in a pattern in your head, this overthinking, stress, anxiety. Maybe you can't really sleep, or you just, and for some of you it's just, it's easy to say it's just, but it's like this tiny bit of something poking your energy, something you just know that there's something there that you need to see, some action you need to take, some connection that you need to somehow rectify, or somehow there's something you need to change. 5-5 again on the clock. 8-5-5. Something that's been going around and around and around and around in the same type of circles for what seems like an eternity. Something that needs to change. Here's the High Priestess, your intuition, of course. 4 Wands, something to do with your stability, your sense of being able to celebrate your progress. Perhaps some of you feel like you should have been doing something else for a long time, that you sort of landed in the wrong place on your journey. There's something here about chapters lived, and perhaps at some point you took the wrong door, or that's what you believe anyway, that you kept banging at the wrong door for so long that the path that you think now that you might have wanted to take kind of closed, or you think it's a lost opportunity. It's not, is what I'm hearing in my head. Something will come around. Strength card. You know, this is this is an inner battle. It's you fighting your own demons in a lot of ways here. King of Wands. He, see how he stands here. He's like out in the forest. He's lit this bonfire. He's all, standing there, grounded, creative, connected to, nature, the universe. I mean, he has magician vibes here. This I can manifest the shit out of everything. And then here is the Four of Pentacles. Very different energy. He's like very protective of what he has. There's not much openness, not much following my intuition. It's sort of like, oh, no, no, no. I got to protect my boundaries. I got to protect my property, perhaps my ideas, my way of being in the world, my viewpoints, that type of thing. So it's almost like you're swaying back and forth between these two. Part of you is wanting to be more creative, is wanting to be more intuitive, following this path, knowing that you're strong. And then there's another part that's like in your head going, oh no, that's never going to work. It's just not. So there's something here that, your higher self or spirit is trying to tell you that uncertainty needs to end so that you can see everything that you have learned and become aware of, all your shadows, which, might be a little strong. I don't think anyone ever is aware of all their shadows, but see here's Seven of Cups, which of course is about choices, but here it's also like, to me, it represents all the different sides of you. And see how she has her head in the sky there. She's like so confused because it's like I'm this, but I'm also that, and this and that, and da da da, and back and forth. Um, and again, the Eight of Cups, kind of like, well, maybe I should just turn my back on this whole path, whatever it is that's calling you. Maybe this is just not gonna, pan out. So there's a lot of discussion with yourself. There's some uncertainty. There's this kind of like right almost there where you are aware of it, but not quite. You can't really put your finger on it, and you wavering back and forth with yourself. What's the supportive energy here, Spirit? Six of Cups here. Some of this is, which of course with the eclipse and everything, some of these are based in patterns from previous lives, unconscious memories and things that you have with you, doubts that you might, have picked up. There might have been situation where there's been things you wanted to do that didn't pan out or had consequences that you didn't want to, deal with, or that just were hurtful, or whatever it is. If you don't connect with the past life thing, then that's fine too. Look at it as this is something perhaps that runs in your family, deep ancestral patterns that you're dealing with, which, can creep into creep in, you're kind of born with them, but that are in your energy, and you might not have been able to really see how much effect they actually had on you, that type of thing. Ace of Swords, something that you need to see clearly. Six of Swords, leaving this whole conflict behind here. There's a need for accepting that there's just some things that you need to really see for what they actually are. You got to stop banging on the wrong door. You have to be able to well, not be able to, because you are able to, but you have to be willing to change, with all the fives. Here's the Ten of Pentacles. In this, I don't know if I can hold it so you guys can even see it. Gotta do something about that lightning. This is really such an interesting card to me, because this could very well symbolize this ancestral thing, from one generation to the other. We are passing wisdom down, we are passing trauma down, we are passing patterns, ways of being in the world, belief systems, values, that type of thing, which, in a sense, is very much like this is your treasure trunk. You know, your family line treasure trunk. Not all the treasures are, you know, of equal value. Not all of them are nice to have, but nevertheless, you have all of them. Karmic justice here with the justice card. So there's something here in your lineage, in your, you know, your own energy, your past life energy, your ancestral energy, whichever resonates with you. But there's something here that you need to see in order to set yourself free from this. Tell me more about that, Spirit. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, something's changing, that's for sure. Which, you know, this period of time here is really like something's going to change whether you want to or not. Almost like that. Um, Seven of Swords here. You know, which is this energy of deceit and betrayal. And for some of you, you betrayed yourself at some point. And that has really caused a lack of belief in your own capabilities of creating what you want in life. You have somehow done some kind of deal is what I'm seeing. I don't, you know, it can be a lot of different things, but you have somehow betrayed yourself, you know, made a choice that you kind of intuitively knew this is not good for me. This is not what I really should be doing. But for whatever reason you did. Um, Here's the Knight of Swords, which, see, she's, the way she's holding this, it's kind of like she's putting the spotlight on, you know, the decisions here, on her own decisions. Um, it's so think back. This thing about living in chapters. Look at your life and see at what point in my life did I make a choice that I later thought that might not really have been the way to go, or that decision turned out to cost me dearly in not necessarily in money, you know, but in resources or energy or beliefs, you know, belief in myself, that type of thing. Or if it's not in your life, try and look back a generation or two in your ancestral line and see if you can recognize a point where someone made a decision that had profound impact on how their life from that point turned out. There's something there to be aware of um, in order for you to see this for what it is. This is a strange reading, guys. If you're still here, respect. Because I'm like, this is really interesting energy. Um, Nine of Swords, yeah. This is confusing. You know, and I think the confusion is that, you know, like I said in the beginning, it's like it's right there underneath the surface, and yet you just can't seem to get to it. I can't really seem to get to exactly what the point of this is. You know, Six of Pentacles here. Which, you know, is about generosity and stuff. I have a feeling, though, that the way this looks, the energy that represents you is this this person being in lack of whatever it is they are needing in order to feel secure. You know, that it's sort of like there's been a lack of something. Tell me more about the Six of Pentacles, Spirit. Queen of Cups at the bottom here. Yeah, Ten of Swords. There's really been some betrayal here. Whether it's been, you know, in your line, your energy, or this is someone that has, you know, betrayed whatever energy it is you're carrying here at some point. Deeply betrayed. I don't know if you can see how he's actually carrying yet another knife here in his hand. The person that's walking towards the guy here. This has been something you really didn't see coming. You would have thought that whatever decision you made there was for the highest good of your future path. You thought that this is like my Queen of Cups mode, my happiness, my creative space, my this is going to help me on my path type of thing. Um, yeah, Four of Swords. There's a need to heal this. Whatever it is, there needs to be some sort of change in the way that you view it, because right now it is literally blocking you seeing everything about yourself that you need in order to move forward here. There might be a level of you not being able to forgive yourself, a part of you that's like, that was just the dumbest thing I've ever done type of thing. Or again, it might be further back in. Some of us are here to heal some ancestral karma too. These patterns and stuff, to see them and heal them and make sure they don't continue down the line. So that could also be the case. Ten of Swords, Nine of Cups here. This Ten of Swords, there's actually in this deck there's two Ten of Swords, but I love this card because see how this is like the wise version of you, the wise version of your soul, and here's the owl representing all this wisdom and the little swords. So this has cost. This is this wisdom, this lived wisdom has cost a lot of pain. It came with a lot of pain. The wisdom is there. It's very deep, and perhaps that's why you're not really wanting to see it, because having to look at that is going to bring up the memories. What happened to my? Oh well, I don't know. I had the. Yeah, no, Seven of Cups. That's not what I thought I did. Okay, never mind. But this wisdom that you carry here came with a price. Um, but also, the Ten of Swords is an ending. It's something that's definitely over. So whatever this karmic cycle has been for you, it is done. So since this is coming up, this is kind of like Spirit saying, all right, take one last look at this. Make sure you collected everything you need to know from it, so that the next door you knock on from a different perspective, from a much more healed and aligned place, um, with all this wisdom that has really cost you. But whatever the pattern is, it's done. It's over. You can let it go. What don't the seer see coming here, Spirit? Knight of Cups. It's funny, it was over there too. Okay. Yeah, there's an awakening here. This is you emerging from some sort of cocoon thing that you've been in, with this refusal to see this pattern. Um, yeah, it's time. It's definitely time to deal with whatever this is. The Knight of Cups here, a more loving way of dealing with your past. Again, I think there's some of you that needs to forgive yourself from choices that you've made, or something in your lineage that someone lived with a lot of regrets, a lot of being very hard on themselves, that type of energy. And if they're passed on, then you can transmute this energy by looking at your own story and see, where did I betray myself? Where did I not protect my boundaries, not protect my energy, not make choices that were all that good for me? Tell me about the Knight of Cups. Yeah, the sun. It needs to come out into the light, out of the shadow. You can't keep hiding it back here in the trees, where all you can see is sort of like the outline and two dots for its eyes. I don't even know if you can see this on the camera, but this is a cool card. But it needs to come out and be seen and be dealt with, so that it doesn't manifest itself in doors you knock on you shouldn't be knocking on. I don't know, does that make... Yeah, and this, for some of you, this has been going on for a while, you know, because this is spirits going like, all right, we got a gift for you. You need to see this. If you see this, you can transform it, and then you can kind of snap out of this. I'm not good enough. I really, why the heck did I do that? That was just stupid, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever it is with you, or this energy that might run in your lineage, that's sort of like, um, we don't, for some of you, this can be have manifested in a pattern of, we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't put up the correct boundaries or the proper boundaries. We make choices that benefit other people, but maybe not necessarily ourselves, that type of thing. Do you have any advice on this, Spirit? Yeah, Three of Cups, which is interesting, you know, because this is the card that talks about, you know, community and corporation and stuff. And over here, I put the rest of the cards here next to the side, and here's basically the same card, support. So there's something in the energy of reaching out, you know, to other people who might be in a similar situation, or maybe talk to friends and kind of even, you know, ask. Here's unveiling and transformation underneath that. Basically ask, you know, do I have any patterns that you think I might not be seeing? And of course, not everybody has friends. You can actually ask that and then they understand what you're saying. But if you do, you know, if this is a possibility, it might be worth investigating. You know, what is this? What am I not seeing in myself? And get some help to bring it to the surface. Of course, for some of you, that help can also be therapy of some sort, or breathworks practices, or shadow work, or, you know, whatever really calls you. But do something, because this literally is a very, very karmic time. You have the energetic, um, support to really release this, um, once and for all, from your energy, which of course also means that you heal things back, and you heal things forward for people coming later in your lineage. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? This is a tough one. You know, if you resonates with it, that's great. I'd love to read a comment about it. Six of Cups, that's the card I was looking for. The memories. Um, yeah, go explore. You know, see, this is a Knight of Pentacles. He takes his time. He's not even on the horse in this. He's just, you know, wandering down the path, taking a break. Sort of, he looks like he's about to sit down, make a fire, get, you know, at a stream where both him and the horse can get something to drink. And there's this feeling of, it's important to take time right now to really see this, to really feel this, to really heal this. Whatever it is, it's a good investment for you to look at this now. Don't just, you know, turn your back, that Eight of Cups that we have, and walk away from it. Because if you do, yeah, sure, you can, you know, carry on, you can go on. But then that also means that this continues to play in the background in your life, in your children's lives, if you have children. If you look at it now, if you heal it, if you get to the root of this, you will automatically heal things forward too for your own lineage coming. So this is a call to action, is what it is. If you're watching this and you kind of have this feeling of, I know there's something I need to address. Maybe some of you know exactly what it is and you just kind of, heck no, I'm not touching that. And of course, you know, I can't say, yeah, you should. Well, yeah, I can say, yeah, you should. I can't make you do it. We have free choice. You should always follow your own free will. But Spirit is just saying, this is a good opportunity. Take a look at this. See it for what it is. Heal this. And of course, basically this means getting more awareness about who you are, why you make the choices you do, um, maybe what you want to change in order to make better choices for yourself. So which of course to me sounds good. King of Pentacles. That's abundance. You will be able to manifest abundance into your life from a healed perspective. And not that we ever heal fully. We will always have, little bits. But whatever this is, this will help you in ways that has to do with your stability, your abundance. Underneath here, we had, see how this, for some of you, there's been this lack feeling in your energy, in your life. You might have just gotten by, but you haven't really been able to manifest the things you really wanted to. It's sort of like there's been this out of balance. And whatever this is, this forgiveness, this changing of energy, changing of the guard, I hear. I don't really know what that means in this sense, but um, that will bring you here from the Four of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. Now that's one kick-ass jump. That's a very, very different energy, a very, very different place to manifest from. This is like, oh, I better hold very tightly on to what I have. It might not be perfect, it might not be good, but it's all I have. I'm sitting here, I'm not letting go. And he is like, F that, I'll manifest whatever I need. I'll follow my intuition. I'll follow my calling. I'll follow whatever, is I see out there that looks like this might be for me. Um, and I know that I can always manifest more. I can always, if this doesn't fit, change course, change my mind, look at something else, do something else. Where this energy is much more like, nope, I'm going to sit here and hold on to this and make sure nobody touches it. Because that's all I have, and I'll probably not get anything else in this life. No more opportunities, no more, offers, no more whatever it is. So very, very different energy. Awareness. What are you not seeing? What are you not wanting to own? What are you not wanting to touch? What are you not wanting to realize about the way you've been in the world, about the way you treated yourself, the choices you've made, the patterns, that type of thing. So I hope it makes sense. It's a little, actually, with this whole Saturn in retrograde, Uranus in retrograde this coming week, there's just a lot of, Saturn is of course going back into Pisces with this dreamy, deep, intuitive sort of we can see it but we can't quite see it energy. So I suppose in that sense this is perfect energy. It's sort of, a foggy type of thing. You see it, but you don't really. You know it's there, but you can't really put your finger on it. Yeah. So that's what it is. Anyway, thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, write a message. Um, and I hope this makes sense to you whenever you find it. These are timeless. If you find this 6 months from now, that's because then you are in a place where you can look at this at that point. So don't take it for more than what it is. It's always my intention that this finds whoever sees it whenever they need to hear this in their life. We're all on different paths, so there's that too. Anyway, thank you for being here. Big love.